So what we do is we are going to have three terms here. I'm going to look across the top. There are different ways to do this, but I'm going to solve it this way. I'm going to go across the top, and I have three terms that I'm going to sum. I have one term that starts with 1 times something. Then I have another one that is going to be minus 1 times something, and then plus minus 2 times something. Okay, so I've picked these guys like that. Okay, I've gone across the top. And for a reason I'll explain in a little bit, this second guy here needs to have a minus sign out in front of him. And I'll explain that in a moment. Now, what do we put inside each of these brackets, like in here? Well, what you do is, for this first term, which is having to do with 1, we cross out the column and the row corresponding to that number, or that position in the matrix, and we are left with this minor, which is a 2 by 2 matrix, and we take the determinant of that, which in this case is 2 times 3 minus negative 1 times negative 1. All right, negative 1 times negative 1. All right, then we're going to do the same thing for negative 1 here. Let's see. Now we will cross this guy, cross this guy out and this guy, and what we're left with is, if I draw it, negative 1, negative 2, negative 1, and 3, right? We're left with these guys and these guys. And we calculate the determinant of that, which is minus 1 times 3 minus negative 1 times negative 2, which is 2. I can't fit it, so I'm just going to put 2 there. Finally, we do the same thing for the negative 2, and we end up with minus 1 times minus 1 minus 2 times minus 2. Okay? Now the one, I guess, part that's unclear here is, why in the world did I have a minus sign here? All right, well, in principle, what you actually have, let me rewrite this. What we do is we start with, if I were to redraw this, let me do it this way. I'm going to give names to each of these: A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, because it's the third column, A32, A33. The determinant of this, and I actually did this wrong here, I should have put just vertical bars, right? The determinant of this is A11. So if I'm going across the top this way, and the reason I say this is that you can also calculate this by going down a column, and you can actually go across any row or any column, but I just always pick the top, across the top row. So A11 times, and actually what we have is, we have this. I'll explain it in a second here. Times this determinant A22, A33 minus A23 times A32. That is our first term. The second term is A12 times minus 1 to the 1 plus 2. And then it's going to be A21 times A33 minus A23 times A31. And our last term is going to be A13 times minus 1 to the 1 plus 3. And here we have A 2, 1 times A 3, 2 minus A 2, 2 times A 3, 1. Looks nasty, all right, but it is what we actually did above. Now, the question is, what are these exponents here? All right. Well, they're actually the ij position, the row column position of that particular of this particular entry here. Okay, so -1 to the second is +1. That's why we had a plus in our first term above. For A12, we do -1 to the 1 plus 2, which is 3. So this actually evaluates to -1. This evaluates to +1. And then this evaluates to +1 again. And so you see this is what causes the negative there. All right. Now this is kind of messy, but let's actually evaluate this, and I'm going to show you a quicker way to solve this. If I don't make a mistake here, I've got 6 minus 1, so this is 5. And then I have plus -3 minus 2 is -1. And then here I have 1 plus 4 is 5 minus 10, I think. So that would be -5, that's -6 then. All right.